Hello everyone, it's TripleZHacker here, and we are back with another tournament match. This time it is featuring myself, of course, playing as the Ogigayatsu, and my opponent is Samurai Extra 3064 playing as the Ashikaga. So for the first battle which we're in now, I chose the map Kanto Plains. There are two key buildings here, the workshop and the farmhouse. The workshop is the superior key building of those two. So I lined up most of my forces over here and just left a lone unit to go capture that key building. Now for the army compositions. So the army I brought a sort of a rush army with a little variation on it, but I have 4 Nodachi samurai on the front. I have 3 Naginata samurai behind them, and I have 3 Naginata warrior monks. On this side over here, I have a Yari samurai unit, and then I have 2 units of Yari cav here, along with a great guard, and then I have some light cav and Yari cav over here hidden in these trees to the right. My opponent here brought a pretty balanced army as well. Less of a rush army though, so there's about 3 bow samurai, there's some Yari samurai here, about say 4 Yari samurai, as well there's a katana cav that we can see, general's bodyguard, and some bow cav. The rest of the units I think are hidden. Anyways, I'll start the battle and go over exactly what I did. So again, immediately just start rushing forward with the Nodachis, get the Yari Samurai here to go over there to the farmhouse with rapid advance to capture the key building really quickly. Let's speed things up here. So again, as you can see, 2 Katana Cav come into view. I don't really think Katana Cav are that good against other Cav, as my Yari Cav will beat them because of the anti-Cav bonus that they have. Anyways, so here pretty much I'm rushing for this dojo. I'm hoping to get the farmhouse at least since my opponent's not contesting it. And then I have my 2 other cav units coming out this way to hopefully encircle my opponent. Just pretty much a rush army, if you ever saw one. So my Nodachi start taking a bit of arrow fire, but it's okay. I don't mind losing a few of them. Now here I decide to bring my Nodachis across to this side of the dojo. I bring my Naginatas over here. My opponent here, Samurai Extra, does a really good job of having these Yari Samurai here to block my cav all in the woods over here. And then a really good job of sending some Yari Samurai over here just to pin my Nodachis in place. 2 units holding 3, that's pretty good. I send my cav over here. It's fine if I lose them in this fight. And here's a closer look so you can see the action. Good on him to bait my cav into attack. But again, I decide to try to lure all of my opponent's cav over here as a decoy because, of course, my real cav army or sort of attack is going to be from this end. So bring them all around to pretty much crash into all these bows right here, and those are 4 bow samurai. Again, right here in the middle, you can just see force concentration and local superiority in effect. There's just so many units there that my opponent can't deal with them. And of course, a nice rear charge in here. We also end up getting into some more cav fights there, but you can see these 2 bow units are already routing. I have my general in stand and fight here, which I meant to do the stand and fight over here. It's kind of weird how he ran all the way over here. But it ended up working out. I won this side with some monks and Nodachis, and of course, the Naginata Samurai beat the Yari Samurai over here. It was a slow process, but won over time. Right here, this is kind of poor on me, just blobbing up all my units. Not really executed well. My general's in danger, but he's fighting both samurai, so should be okay. And of course, my Yari Samurai from all the way over here with the farmhouse, which I captured, came over as well to assist. We'll go into cinematic mode for now. But yeah, as you can see, just a really quick rush battle by me. So again, just encircled and enveloped my opponent. But good on Samurai Extra to force me to have to use my cav really hard in terms of having to maneuver all the way around to get that charge into the flanks. But again, Yari Samurai just really hard to get them over to defend your ranged units. Anyways, that was a good, quick and first battle. My rush tactics worked, and it certainly paid off, especially on this map. And being able to contest both the dojos at the start was great. Anyways, now let us go on to the second battle. Okay, so for the second battle, Samurai Extra chose the map Jigokundai Valley, and this map is quite an interesting map. So there's plenty of terrain here in terms of the hills, and tons of trees in certain areas to hide units. So really interesting map. Now, of course, we have two key buildings. We have the archery dojo and the sword dojo. So I already have the advantage because the sword dojo is a better building than the archery dojo, and I'm closer to it based off where I deployed. Now, for the army I brought this time, I brought still somewhat of a rush army, but this time I have one, two, I think three Nodachi samurai. I have some Yari samurai, then I have a Naginata warrior monk, as well as I have three Naginata warrior monks, and I have three Naginata samurai. So similar to last battle, and then I have some Yari Ashikaga over here on the left, just because I had some extra funds left over. General's bodyguard, and then I have two Yari Cav here, and then I have two Yari Cav here. I dropped the Great Guard and decided to also pick up some Bow Warrior Monks because I figured they would be helpful on a map such as this. Anyways, let's get into the battle because we can't really see all of Samurai Extra's full force, but they'll come into view as the battle progresses. So, of course, we got three Naginata Samurai, 1, 2, 3, 4 Nodachi Samurai, 3 Bow Samurai this time, as well as 3 Yari Samurai to protect the flank and General's bodyguard. So, looks like to me just a standard balanced samurai army. Now over here, I just advance. Of course, same strategy with the Yari Samurai. You want to use rapid advance, get the sword dojo, and pretty much just I advanced steadily. I have the Nodachis in the front because they're probably going to be the ones to make the charge, but then I eventually put the Naginata Samurai in front because my opponent has some Bow Samurai, and I don't want my Nodachis to take any casualties from missile fire. I bring this Cav out here just because I want to see if Samurai Extra will react with a Cav of his own, but he doesn't, and it's really smart on him to have all his forces concentrated here, and I almost wondered if he could have gotten more of the high ground during this match. I think by the end of it, he was kind of positioned here and didn't really have as much of the high ground as he planned. And I think with the army he brought, having as much high ground as possible, and maybe having a couple of units defending this, but having the bows even higher up on the slope of this hill would have been beneficial. Now I keep this Cav hidden over here because no point in revealing them just yet. I get the Bow Warrior Monks out in front to get a couple of volleys in, but they're not going to do much against 3 Bow Samurai. They're just outnumbered, and their armor is pretty low. So the Bow Samurai are eventually going to kill them, especially if they all target them at the same time. I bring my Cav over here, and I can already see Samurai Extra is preparing to protect his rear with these 2 Yari Samurai here. So I just kind of bring some Cav over here just to pull away some units, because in this instance, this Cav right here is a decoy. I'm not going to be using them at all. I'm just trying to get my opponent to commit units over to this area so that in the main area where the lines, the 2 battle lines clash, he has less units than I do, because you can see he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 Yari Samurai committed to defending against Cav, so he only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units on the front line. Well, I have more than 8 units because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units, and then technically 11, 12 because I bring in the 2 spear units as well. But this was a tough fight. As you can see, the Nodachis get I'd say a decent charge off, not the best. This Cav micro right here is pretty terrible on my part. I tried to get them to squeeze through here and loop around. This Cav, I was hoping just to charge into some swords here on the front line, since most of the spears were on the flanks. I don't really think it was too effective, though. I'm able to get my general up in, though, and pop a rally and get into stand and fight. I think Samurai Extra would have, benefited if he'd done the same, because stand and fight's so good. I get this Cav around here on the back, and of course I have these 2 Cav units as well, just kind of doing nothing. And I have the Yari Samurai back here, about to get into the melee as well. Of course, I charged right into spears, which was really bad. But again, as long as these spears are busy fighting my Cav, it's going to allow this Cav here to get a hammer and anvil, and as well allow me to win the front line. As you can see, I just have more infantry units on the front line than Samurai Extra does, and so my infantry is going to win me this battle. Also, with the 3 extra bow units, that's also another 3 units that can't be used in the melee. So again, I was able to get some more cav involved. My cav really wasn't a factor though in this battle, and I love my cavalry, and I use it quite extensively. So congrats to Samurai Extra for really making it not a factor in the second match. And the other thing to keep in mind is that he chose to weather snow purposefully because snow also slows enemy movement speed. But yeah, you can see we end up getting to the general, and of course the entire front line has collapsed. My general almost gets in danger from Sungari Samurai, but they don't make it in time. We kill the general, and all of Samurai Extra's forces rout. So quite a quick affair, I would say. But yeah, the infantry advantage I have in this moment, and Samurai Extra's willingness to engage instead of withdrawing a little bit more to skirmish really helped. So yeah, it was definitely a good match. Congratulations to, of course, Samurai Extra for putting on a good fight. I want to give credit where credit's due. Really, really some good tactics there, and I think when he goes down to the losers side of the bracket, he'll do really well. Anyways, of course, I'm advancing on to the next round, so be sure to stay tuned for more tournament matches and analysis coming your way. Thank you all again so much for watching. Take care.